Welcome to the Friday Huddle Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to connect on a deeper level and to motivate them in the process. My name is Valerie Liddell, and I'm the founder of Grind Plus Growth. And I'm sitting down with entrepreneurs to talk about their entrepreneurial journey, the lessons they've learned, and how to make an impact. So I just want to welcome everyone to the show, the Friday Huddle. Today is our premiere, May the 22nd, 2020. This is the launch of our podcast, and I am truly excited to be sharing this moment with Mrs. Kesha Kent. I am a big fan of hers. She is an awesome coach, motivational speaker, and we're just going to have a really good time today just discussing with her about entrepreneurship, because this show is really based about entrepreneurship, the good, the bad, the ugly of it, and just the journey that we take as being entrepreneurs. So let's welcome Mrs. Kesha Kent. Thank you. So Ms. Kesha, is there anything that you can share with us about who you are, what you do? Just introduce yourself.
Absolutely. So first off, I'm a wife to my amazing husband. I met him when I was 12. He was 13. And God brought us back full circle to form this union that we have today. And everything that I do and that I get to do is, I'm saying, with this foundation that God has given us. Without him, I wouldn't be the woman that I am. I wouldn't be able to show up in spaces. So first off, I'm a wife. I'm a mom of 3 beautiful daughters, and I have some extended children that I didn't birth as well. And God has given me this gift when it comes to speaking, training, and development. I get to work with individuals, and my passion is networking and building relationships and showing people how they can authentically build relationships, and that in everything that we do, it's relational. So we want to make sure that we are building in every capacity, whether we're at the laundromat, whether we're at the grocery store, the kids' school, whether we are in business out at networking events. However we do life, it should be relational. And that's a gift that God has helped me transform into everything that I'm doing every day. And I love, 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 love connecting people. And I'm such a connector, and I'm really a cheerleader of people that just want to connect. And that's really me in a nutshell. I have about 20 years of experience. My background is in recruitment and human resources. So I've always been able to hear from people, and I understand that the underlying value in everything is people want to be heard. So I focus on listening to people and helping them connect to their true passions, because I believe that as you connect and you talk to people about what you're passionate about, bam, that's it right there. It takes all the weight off saying, okay, here's what I do and this and that. But when you talk to people about your passions and why you do it, it just opens you up, and that thing starts flowing out of your ears. My God, it flows out of your ears.
I definitely agree with that. People, they like to know that the person that they may be following or looking up to, that person is relatable. And if you are people, it's easier for people to connect to you. So
absolutely.
I with that, definitely. Okay, so I would like to have a little quick icebreaker just to learn something about you that's not connected to your entrepreneurial journey or your business. So the question is, what do you do, a hobby that you indulge in that has nothing to do with your business?
Double Dutch, baby. I am a double Dutch queen, baby. I can turn, I can jump, I can mumble, I can jump and jack. I can do it all. I still to this day am such an avid double Dutch queen. I'm looking for some championship people that I can join with and get into some groups and some things like that. I love kickball. I'm such a tomboy to the 10th power. I can get cute and put on some red lipstick.
Okay.
I am a tomboy to the 10th power. I'm super competitive. And I think that's what made me super successful when it came to recruiting and human resources, because I'm so competitive and I love to cheer on people, and I love to just be, I like to be going. So that's some of the stuff that some people know, people that know me know that I'm super athletic and competitive when it comes to double dutch and kickball. I love
Want me for your double dutch team. It took me 15 seconds just to get it to the rope. Like
girl,
I was
look.
back and forth.
You talking about
Right. Do I go in now?
That's so funny because my church, the St. Louis Dream Center, we had a life group that was the Double Dutch Life Group. And my good friend Melissa and I were the leaders of that group. And we got to teach the youth how to turn, how to jump in. But we used that rope, right, as something to connect, but still give them the love of God and show them who God was in them. So it was really an amazing way that we got to connect. And really, when you think about what you're doing, there's a team, right? When you play double dutch, and you got to have the right team in place, because your team is click clacky all over the place. There's no way you're going to be able to successfully jump. And so I think of double dutch as that vehicle to be able to learn teams. And we learn them so young. We didn't think about those things, but when you pick your team on your group, who gonna turn, who gonna jump, who gonna start, that really was showing us leadership and building a team way back. I said 80s. I'm aging myself, but all the way back in the early 80s, I was learning how to jump double dutch, and we would stay outside all day and jump double dutch, baby.
Yes, we did as well. And I love how you connected it and the symbolism of it. Double dutch, yes, when you pick a turner, you got to make sure, like, you don't want to turn all crazy where the rope goes. You have to be very strategic when you pick who's going to be on your double dutch team, because you got that right turner, everything's going to work out.
Everything flows. When you got that right person,
right.
With every move that you make, if you make a little flub and they catch it,
yeah,
baby, that's winning right there. That really is such an amazing way when you think about teams, how even in entrepreneurship, we have to have the right team. Yeah. Who do you have on your board? Who do you have cheering you on? And people need specific roles. When we think about what it is that we need, they don't know what we need. Mm-hmm. Today to ask for what it is that I need. I'm learning.
And that conversation we had about the ask and just how important it is, because we, especially me from my experience, I had a habit of just feeling like, well, they know what I need, especially like the people that are close to you, like, you know what I need. So why do I have to even ask you? Just help me. But that conversation that I had with you about the ask and just, making sure that we are as specific as possible in sharing with people what we need from them, even if it's, hey, could you share this post on Facebook or this post on Instagram? Right. Making sure that you get the post to them, whatever language you want in that post, and give them that language as well to help them to where they can understand and not try to figure out like, okay, they asking me to help them, but I don't know where to help. But making sure that they have what they need in order to help.
That's so good. That's important. That is super important, because otherwise, how in the world will they know what we need? They don't know.
Exactly.
There's no way that people can understand what it is that we need. And we have to get into this place where we line it out for them, because not everybody is going to be social media savvy. Not everybody is going to be email savvy. They may not know what to say. They may be able to connect you with the person that you need to be connected with, but they don't know how to say what you need. They don't know how to line it out. So what we can do as entrepreneurs is we can give them a specific email and tell them to plug in where they need to plug in and take out what they need to take out. One of my mentors, Bernie Frazier, she's good about being exact about what you need. And she's been teaching me to ask for what you want. What is it that you want? And how do you say, here's what I need, without kind of like begging, or without feeling like you have to keep on pressing people, because you shouldn't have to press them. And when they're on your team and they're the right people, it comes natural to them too. but we have to make sure that we're looking at the right team as well. That's huge.
That's very huge, because if you don't have the right team and people who are for you, you can be pulling forward and they can be pulling backwards. And
Baby,
you're not going to get anywhere. It's just going to be a pulling, like a tug of war. A tug of war.
That's right. That's right. Will Smith has a motivational talk that he does on YouTube, and it's so good. And I listen to it all the time because it's just a really great motivator for me. And he says, make sure that you have the right people in your boat. Are those people pouring gasoline on your fire? Or are they pissing on your fire? No. But it's good. And when you think about it in that mindset, you have to think about it in a way where, okay, the people that are in the boat, are they behind the scenes poking holes in the boat? Backbiting, gossiping, talking against your brand and what you're doing? Or are they filling it up with positivity? Are they filling it up with things that are going to help you keep going, that are going to encourage you? Are they giving you what you need? And it's okay if they're not, to say, you know what, that front row you used to be on, you don't get that front row seat anymore. That seat vacant for somebody that gets it, and it's okay. And we have to make sure that we are giving our vision to people that can see. There's somebody that I listened to, Miles Monroe, and he said, we should not be giving our vision to blind people to proofread.
Wow.
Wow. They can't see it. But again, it's not even meant for them to see it. The vision is deposited into us. So we can share our vision with people. And sometimes people may not even have fathom going to the places that you're going or you want to go. And they may not even be able to see it. And they may not mean any harm, but they may say, girl, write a book. Ain't nobody in our family wrote a book. Or you want a master's degree? Nobody in our family has a master's degree. Why you want to go back to school? You already have one degree. All those things that sometimes people keep us in this box because of where they are and who they are. We can't give our vision to them always because they can't see it.
Right. Because what's uncomfortable to them may be uncomfortable to us, but the difference is we stepped out there. Yeah. We stepped outside of those confinements, whether it be if family has not done it or our friends have not done it, we stepped outside of that. And people, they get, I guess, kind of fearful, like, that has never been done, so why are you trying to do it? They just can't wrap their mind around it and understand it. So it's best to share your vision with those who are supportive, who are understanding, and that who God is leading you to.
Yeah, and He will do it. Yeah. He will do it every single time. And it's all about the intentionality. And like you said, it may be uncomfortable for them, but for you, you can put them skates on, baby, and do backwards flips on the skates, rolling crazy leg, everything. And even fazed by what it is that you're walking through, where they're like, oh my God, I can't do it.
Well, I just like imagine doing a crazy leg on skates. I would fall and bump my head.
Oh my goodness. My goodness.
I don't think my knees can hold up.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the good, the bad, the ugly, as we discussed earlier. This is a platform to share about entrepreneurship, the good, the bad, the ugly of it. I have my drink of choice. Or you have a drink?
I don't have my drink in front of me, but it's been lemon water today because I just finished up another presentation with Professional Women's Alliance here in St. Louis. Okay. We started this morning at 8, and it was really, oh my goodness. There were about 25 women on that call today, and we did Zoom as well. And we talked about, I was a presenter, and we talked about how networking is a superpower, and I give my tips and my tricks that I use for networking. So, yep, I've been drinking my water. I need to give me some more water. But
okay. All right.
Lemon water today.
Yeah, that sounds really good. So with the questions, like I said, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. I can shuffle the questions up, and they could be randomly selected, or we can just start with the good questions, then go to the bad or the ugly, however way you would like to do that.
You can shuffle them. That sounds fun.
Okay, so let me go ahead and shuffle them.
That sounds fun.
All right.
I see we're the red lip gang today.
Yeah. This is some lipstick from a makeup store, online store called Ecstasy Beauty. I'll post a link in the video. It's a red lipstick, and it comes in a beautiful bedazzled case.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And mine is from my really good friend Francine. She has Mary Kay. This is her red matte lip. I'm trying it out for her. She said to try it because she knows that I love a red lip. And it's on since this morning. I put it on this morning at what? 7:45? And it's been rocking with me. I done ate a banana, some yogurt, and it's still in place.
Still in place. That's the lipstick.
Okay, that's what I said. I have to make sure that it stays on because not only am I, but I'm eating it, the process, drinking.
Right. Okay, so the first question we have is a good question. And so that question is, how do you evolve yourself as an entrepreneur?
Ooh, many ways. The number one way that I evolve as an entrepreneur is to stay connected to my scope of influence, the work that I'm doing, where my lane is. I'm learning to stay in my lane. And the one way that I do that is I look at what it is that I want to do and how I want to do that. And so I look at people who are already doing that. And then I look at so I use YouTube to find those amazing speakers. And then I connect here local in the St. Louis area with speakers and people that are doing great, amazing work that I also want to aspire to. And I'm also doing those same things. So that's one of the ways that I evolve, is staying connected to my craft, keeping it going, learning every day, trying new operations, like with this Zoom, how we're doing even more Zoom. I've been using Zoom now for probably about 6 or 7 years. And now that everybody's using it more, I get to teach people how they do it. So learning more about the tools and things that are offered for me is the number one way that I stay evolving, connecting, making sure that I'm keeping my craft and speaking and offering my services.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's very important. Staying connected. Connections are good, especially connection. So we have another question. It is a bad question. What is your number one biggest fear about entrepreneurship?
Ooh. Let me see. If I thought about a fear that I have a fear sometimes that when I am connecting with people, that sometimes it'll either go over their heads or it'll be something that they say, oh, I already know that. And the way that I get past that mindset and that thought I start with a disclaimer. Everything that I say may not be the end all tell all. There's going to be other ways to get around to it. But what I'll give you are tips and ways that have worked for me. And so I own it, right? I own it and say, this is what works for me. And I can show you how it's worked for me. And I think that what that does is that takes away anything in their minds where they can be like, I already know that. I'm going to give you something that has worked for me and you can use it as you will. So that's one of the ways that I get over that fear. But it's almost like right before I'm getting ready to go up on the stage, whether it's 20 people or 200 people, it's still there. And so I have to speak out loud and say, you know what, I got this. And the people that I'm supposed to be connected to, I will. The people that are supposed to be on my team, they will come. And I always make sure that I say that so that I don't sit there in that thing and allow it to take away my gift.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like how you turn that into a strength of how that fear is not hindering you.
Yeah.
You know how to turn it into a strength to overcome. I like that.
Absolutely. Because it comes up. It comes up to the best of us. I was listening to a talk that Michelle Obama did, and she was saying she even still sometimes doubts the woman that she is and all the stuff that she's been through, because she said, here I am, this girl from the south side of Chicago with a middle class family, working class family. And here it is, I am the first lady of the United States. She says that she has to remind herself, my ancestors didn't go through all of this stuff for me to shrink back in my awesomeness. And every time I hear her say that, it just gives me that extra boost, like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm human. But because of the strength that God has given us, we don't have to stay in that fear, because he didn't give us a spirit of fear. He didn't.
A spirit of power.
Woo, sound mind.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
it.
So, an ugly question. So, this question
Ugly.
is kind of like a two-part question.
Okay.
So it starts off with, what sacrifices have you made with putting your business first that took away from your family and friends?
My God. And take the Browns voice. My God. Baby, look, I quit a job in my spirit, I have felt that I was no longer valuable to them, that they had their own mindset of what they thought that I should be doing and how I should do it. Even though I had been successful in doing that thing, I knew that my time was up there. And I knew that if I would have talked to my husband beforehand about me just leaving, he would have been like, no, just stay and try it out. But I knew that I felt this thing in my spirit, and I have been feeling it probably for a little bit more of over a year. I kind of felt in my spirit that, that God was calling me to do something else. And, I was kind of limiting myself staying right there. And I remember going in to work. I typed out my resignation letter, and I put my resignation in. I gave him like a whole month notice, and I left. And I told my husband after the fact. And just like I thought, he was livid. But when I was able to sit down and walk through him what I was feeling every day, the turmoil, the uncertainty in my spirit, there was no more accord. When I felt that, when I sat down and talked to him after I had did it, he supported me in a way that I had never seen him support me. And it really gave me that extra boost. And then at the end of it all, he kept saying, see, if you would have just not quit that job without talking through it. He kept saying, now see, if you wouldn't have quit that job without talking through it. And so I gave him some grace, and I had to give myself some grace too, because I knew what I felt. And eventually it kind of wore out, where he's no longer saying that. Now he's saying, look at you, babe. Look at you go. Look at you walk in your calling that God has for you. Look at you. So many people will be inspired by the fact that you just quit that job. Now, no, don't get me wrong. This is something that I've been working on since 2012, my brand and Mrs. Key Speaks. And I did put some time and some thought in. I just didn't have an idea today and quit tomorrow. No, I put time in. So I want to be clear when I say that, so that entrepreneurs understand, having a plan will set the course of whatever you do. I would not have just quit without having a plan, without having already contracts lined up. I would not have just quit without having that nest egg, so to speak, when it came to what I wanted to do. But yep, I quit my job, and it was in the beginning, but what I saw was that God provided. We didn't miss a mortgage payment. We didn't lack food. We didn't lack insurance. We didn't lack anything. And he provided everything that we needed. But again, I think it goes back to our mindsets. Had I been like, oh my God, what did I do? There's something different in that thought process. So I truly had to believe that this was what I wanted, and this was what it was for me.
Yeah. And I can definitely relate to your journey. I've been having, I've had the same type of emotions, feelings, going to work day in, day out, feeling as if I should be doing something else. The job was really wearing me down. It was just a lot that was on my plate, a lot of things that I had to do that just really put me in a place that I wasn't comfortable in. I didn't want to be in anymore. But I knew that God he had his hand on me, pushing me to another direction, but I didn't want to become a full-time entrepreneur. I like working my full-time director's job and, working on my business when I'm not
Yeah.
working my full-time and doing it like that. But God saw me, God wanted me to do something different. He wanted me to plunge into it full time so I can take it further to where he wants it to be. And I was
Mm.
nervous because I always had a safety net. I worked since I was 15 years old. Always had a job.
Same.
If it wasn't one job, it was two jobs. I even had
Yeah.
like three jobs at one time. And I loved working. And I was just so nervous because I just knew that it was nothing but God saying, you know what, it's time. It's time. And I kept on pushing it off. So I ended up making a leap this year. February the 25th was my last day in my full-time job for 3 years. And I was nervous. I had knots in my stomach. My heart was,
Oh yeah.
my palms were sweating because I quit based on God telling me to, but I felt like I didn't trust him enough because I was so nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So after I took the plunge and quit and started just throwing myself full time into my work, guess what? COVID-19.
Ooh.
My contract, every single contract that I had with organizations for my nonprofit were all put on hold and pushed back. And
Wow.
all that revenue that was going to come in for the month of March, April, May has been put on hold. And I remember having a conversation with God. I'm like, okay, so you have me quit my full-time job, contracts are pushed back. What is going on? Like, I'm not
Yeah.
understanding this. Why would you open this door? I go through it, and then it's COVID-19.
Come
I just
on.
don't understand. But like you said, we didn't miss a meal. Bills are getting paid.
Come on.
God is still providing as if I do have a full-time job. As
Wow. That's amazing.
He's still providing. Nothing has lacked. We have not needed anything.
Wow.
And I'm forever grateful to God just
Yeah.
for getting me through this situation peacefully, not worrying, still being able to be on my grind with my organization, still being able to make those important connections with people like you, not
Yes. Thank you.
depressed, sad, crying, worrying. I am at peace. And it's all glory goes to him because of that. Yeah.
That's amazing. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. That is absolutely amazing. And that's what it takes, being able to just stand in it. Stand, knowing that it's exactly where you're supposed to be. And everything will line up. Everything will line up. I would say get connected to some organizations where you can connect. Are you connected to the Grace Hill Women's Business Center, Alice Herndon?
I'm not connected to the Grace Hill Women's Business.
That is an amazing resource for women business owners. And I'm telling you, the networking and the connections that come through it, my God, my God. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
That I make a connection to you, to that organization too, because it's an amazing organization.
And for the viewers, I will definitely add that link on the video.
Yes.
Grace Hill Women's Business organization. If you want to look more into it and learn more about it, that link will be provided as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. We
Yes.
another question. It is a bad question. And that question is, what is your view on customer service with minority-owned businesses?
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Elephant in the room.
Look, elephant, get on up out of here, elephant. But here's the real deal, Holyfield. Real deal. Customer service is at the top of everything that I do, who I am, and I don't tolerate it. If it's not anything, if it's subpar, I'm not messing with it. And what I like to do when it comes to businesses, you said minority-owned businesses, one of the things that I like to do is I like to make sure that if there's a teaching moment, I'm not going to walk away without providing some sort of clarity, because at the end of the day, not everybody is privy to customer service training. Let's just say that first. Everybody is privy to seeing people in their circle who provide customer service. Not everybody is privy to the right way to do things. But here I come with my good old, yes, you're going to do it right because I'm going to show you how to do it right self. Not what it is. I'm going to easily say, so there was a situation where there was a nail salon that I had visited in Chicago. And this was maybe 2011 or 10. And when I walked in, nobody greeted me, first off. Very popular nail salon in that area, and nobody greeted me. But me being me, when I recognized that nobody greeted me as I walked in, I said, hey, is the owner here? And they looked around. The owner wasn't there. The lady that was the manager, she came forth and she says, I'm the manager. Can I help you? I said, yeah, I'm here to be service. I've heard some great things about your organization. I've heard a lot of great things on Facebook. Am I in the right place? Is this such and such? Called out the name of the shop. And she was like, yeah. I said, well, nobody greeted me. I'm here to spend some money. I said, and here's the thing on top of that. My auntie is here visiting. She's visiting from Vegas. She's on her way here. I have a cousin who's coming in. She's coming from Atlanta. She's coming to visit, and they'll be pulling up in a few minutes. Can we make sure that they get the warm and fuzzy so that when they go back to their respective places, they know what it is? She was like, absolutely. And she apologized. She said, you know what? We get busy and there's a lot going on, but I apologize because that's not how we operate. And again, that was a teaching moment right there. She needed to hear that. And maybe because they're usually used to seeing a certain people or same people over and over and over, that they've gotten comfortable with not greeting people. They should greet every person that comes through that door. You should make them know that your services are top dog, bomb.com. You want people to be referring people, and people should know who you are, and they should feel that energy. And it's crazy because after we left, there were 4 of us that showed up that day, got our nails and pedicures. So you know we spent money, right? My auntie wanted all the frills and the feelings of everything. So she spent all money. And I was like, you know what? When we left, she pulled me to the side when we were getting ready to leave, and she hugged my neck. She said, thank you. She said, because you could have gotten a nasty attitude. You could have been all over the place. She said, but you didn't. And I appreciate you for that. They were a bomb.com nail salon, and they do numbers in that salon. And I definitely didn't want my auntie to come in and kind of get that same energy. She probably would have been the one that went on them, but I wanted to make sure that I use it as a teaching opportunity. And I still have the relationship with the owner as well as the person who used to be her manager then too.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know some people, like, if they get poor customer service, they're going off on everybody. They're going off the washer, the cook, the person bringing them up, the manager, the owner. They want the number of headquarters. Like, instead of just, showing them, okay, this is,
show them,
this is the issue.
We're from the show me state. Show them, baby. Show them. I'm from the show me state. I'm going to show you every single time what it looks like. I'm not going to lose my cool, because we have to think about it. When you give a person a piece of your mind, you're literally giving them a piece of your mind. And no, ma'am, this here is sacred. I'm not giving it away, but I will show you how to do it right.
Wow. I like that. I'm going to have to remember that and use that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have an ugly question. When did you hit the lowest point of your business, and what were your emotions during that time? If you can just walk us through that moment, and just, give us an idea of how that went for you.
Yes. One of the lowest moments was initially when I stopped working full time at the position that had drained me. The lowest moment specifically was after I walked away from it. I had to regroup because I was left feeling all the feelings of all the stuff that I was feeling, all the, the negative stuff that was within the organization, the toxicity, all those things. I had to stop, rebuild, and pivot and come back. I felt so, not only did I feel alone in that time, I felt like I was leaving them without resources because they didn't have me. Although I had created a standard operating procedure, I felt like I was leaving them, and it was the people that I served that I missed more than the organization. So I felt like I left those people behind. And I really kind of, in that moment, I felt like, wow. And it to the point where I was still sometimes doing work within that organization and not even being paid. I had to check myself really hard after that, because what I found was people will play on that. But I had to give myself permission first to take care of me. And oftentimes we want to take care of everybody else. We can't take care of nobody if we are not taking care of ourselves. So I had to give myself permission to acknowledge those feelings. Oftentimes we want to push those feelings back, but I had to acknowledge that. I'm like, what is this? Let me get this off. I didn't stay there, but again, it happens. We have to make sure that we're in that space and we say, okay, now what? Now what am I going to do? Now what's next? I had to ask myself, what's next? And with my plan, I had to go back to my plan, pivot back to my plan, and start walking through that thing. But again, acknowledging what that disparity felt like, acknowledging what that alone time felt like, acknowledging that, okay, here it is, and here's what I have to offer. Let me operate in this space of peace and give out what I'm called to give out. And let that go. I had to let it go. Let go and let flow.
Oh, wow. Love that. Love that.
Thank you.
Welcome. So this is our last question, and we're going to end it on a good note because it's a good question.
Good.
All right. So how do you go about setting your goals? And how do you identify the goals that you want to set?
That's good. That's really good. The number one way that I go about setting my goals is I make SMART goals. Okay. And when I think about SMART goals, I make sure that they're specific, that they're measurable, that they're attainable, that they're relatable to me, and I'm setting a timestamp on it. When I go throughout my goals and I make them that way, I look at my business and what it is that I want. I look at different quadrants of my business when it comes to the speaking and the engagements doing the speaking, when it comes to my podcast, when it comes to me writing my book, and when it comes to me and my content and my branding. I look at things in those quadrants. And so as I make goals based off those different, each goal has to consist of, what do I want? What do I want to do with this podcast? So I created the podcast. What do I want to do with it? And I want to connect, inspire, and engage. And when I think about the people that I have influence over, which is this global world, because people are listening globally. Yeah. But when I think about that experience and when it comes to the goals that I'm setting with that, I have to ask myself, what is it that I want to do? How many episodes? When is my schedule going to be? How am I going to set it up? And when I set it up that way and I look at the goals in each area, what it does is it allows me to line up with everything that God's given me in the inside. And so as I write those goals out on paper and I can visibly see them, it becomes even more tangible to me. And I make sure that they go along with my vision board. And so here it is, I'm building my vision board along with my goals to make sure that everything is in sync. It allows me to be able to maneuver in this space where I'm not so all over the place, because I'm such a type of person where it could be a squirrel and I might run over here or this is over there. I have to make sure that I have those goals in place. I know what it is that I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm opening up an organization to do parties. I'm doing it. I have to make sure that I'm staying in my lane and operating from my goals that I'm creating. It helps me out to have goals. If I don't have goals set for what I want to do, it haphazardly gets done.
Yeah. And I agree. I'm very big on goal setting, short term, long term. I've been doing like weekly goals, things that I can work on in increments and try to get done by the end of the week. But goal setting is very, very important.
Yes,
I definitely.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Well, we are all done with the questions. We went through the good, we went through the bad, and we went through the ugly. We
Okay.
had an opportunity to get to know the Mrs. Kesha Kent today. I am so excited about having you on the show. What a really great conversation this was. I truly do appreciate you, everything that you're about,
Thank
everything that you are
you.
doing. You looking good in your red lipstick, your glasses. Love the whole look. Love it, love it, love it. And
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you again for being
Absolutely.
part of the premiere, the launch of our first episode. And I look forward to definitely working with you in the future. Definitely.
I look forward to it as well. Thank you so much. It's been a joy. Blessings to you on this journey. I'm excited to be the kickoff of the Friday Huddle.
All right.
Love, love, love everything that you're doing. And I cannot wait to continue to celebrate all of your progress and all of the blessings that are going to come behind this and all the people who will be blessed by your hands and your vision. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Keisha. I really appreciate you.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you. And join us next week for the Friday Huddle, our second episode. We'll see you later.
See you.
Bye bye.
Thank you all for listening to the Friday Huddle and join us next week for a brand new episode. Please be sure to check out the comment section for the links of the businesses that we discussed on the show. To learn more about Grind Plus Growth, visit us at www.grindplusgrowth.com and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified when we go live.